Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to this weekend's Sunday, 4th of March, Dear John show. I'm going to need comments here for a minute to tell me if you can hear the sound. I hope to God you can because I'm plugged in for it now. Well, welcome to the Dear John show. Another Sunday, 4th of March 2018, and I'm looking so forward to bringing this show to you guys. We got a lot of poetry today. We got a lot from Christine Barker, a residential poet, and our residential reader. It's absolutely wonderful to be back. Hello, Dwayne Leon Rankin. God, you jumped in very quick there, my man. Very, very quick. I've also got a story here today. This was sent in from a young lady in Dublin that I grew up with, Linda Nolan. I grew up with her brothers, Gary and Liam. Linda sent me a very, very sad story, and I'm going to read it to you guys as I can. Oh, thank you, Dwayne. Hello, Nina Tilo. I got you to be read out as well. You're coming on tonight as well, aren't you, Nina? With some funnies for us. We were asked for humours last week, and I had to delete the first one. Why my internet dropped off. Christine Barker. Yes, Christine's here with us. I love when the names come in that I really need to help me out here, guys. I've got hands free this week. Hey, wow. I just hope this thing doesn't pop off the edge of the table and fall on the floor. We're in big trouble if that happens. But what have I got this week? I want to say happy birthday to one of our fellow poets. And it's Linda Bates Terrell, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Linda. Hope you're having a brilliant day. And guess what? We have a quote for the week. This one has come on. Hello, Daz Lockyer. How are you, lads? Hope you're working hard. Paying you for nothing lately. Really and truly for nothing. Quote for the week ahead is from Nina Tilo. But I'm not giving it to you yet. It doesn't come to the end of the show. Sorry guys, not until the end of the show. Let me see, where am I at? I'm going to start this week's show with this story because it's about an author, an Irish author. Her name, Emma Hannigan. Emma passed away yesterday after 11 years battling cancer. What a long journey that is. In 2007, Emma was diagnosed with BRCA cancer, grade 1. And for 11 years she battled through this cancer. She's a writer, as I said, she's an author. I'm going to read out what I have written on the paper, guys, because I know it's a sad way to start the show, but really and truly, this, in the literary world, we need to remember those that have actually had involvement and given us all something. I'll read what I've got written down. Thank you, Can. I really appreciate your comment. Emma Hannigan passed away on Saturday, 3rd of March, aged 45. Only days after a new book, Letters to My Daughters, rocketed to #1 bestseller in Ireland. And believe you me, it takes some doing to get to a #1 in Ireland. Emma is survived by her husband Kian, her son Satya, and her daughter Kim. I'm not going to pretend I know this lady in any way, shape or form because I don't. But her story is so inspiring and so touching to everybody, and especially the lady that sent it to me, Linda Nolan. Linda lives in James Street, or we all lived in James Street in Dublin. Emma was a staunch supporter of the cancer institution in Ireland. And it's hard to read this. In the days before the passing, Emma helped raise over €100,000 for Research Cancer Ireland. And she fought 10 battles against cancer over the past 11 years. She was also the great inspiration to those who fought and won their battles against cancer. Listen, it's so sad to see and hear of one of the art of writing has passed. But Emma has left Irish literature very enriched with her writings, and she has. Linda Nolan from James Street, Dublin, asked me to highlight Emma's passing on our live show today, as Linda's way of saying thank you to Emma for giving her the courage and being her inspiration when Linda was facing her own battle with cancer. I didn't know about Linda's battle with cancer until yesterday when we spoke on Messenger. I will take any of these any week and pass them on to you guys because, like I said before, we're all walking on a very similar road in life. And I better change over to where the live cameras are for a second. Can I see them? I can indeed. And I'm going to be a devil here. Hello, Mila De La Rosa. It's lovely to see you in here. And Tracy Woodhead, me little star. Susan Worrell, hello. Lovely seeing you here, Susan. Susan, I need from you next week a Mother's Day poem. Because Nina Thilo has nicely reminded me. Charlotte Rains, it's lovely seeing you here too, hon. Nina Thilo nicely reminded me yesterday about Mother's Day is next week. How could I forget? But however, I'm going to need a poem for you and from all the poets out there. The first 8 Mother's Day poems in will be the as they come, first to 8. And I will take the first 8 poems. If you send them to me in Messenger or in my email, I will put my email address up on the recorded version for anybody to look back on. Angela Gordon, lovely seeing you here too, my dear. Christine Barker. God, I love Sundays. Christine is here every Sunday. Wow. How do you do it, Christine? Even I can't stay with me that long or that often. I'm going to get a slug of my coffee as well, by the way. Quick one. And Christine will join me. I hope. I hope. It's not doing anything at the moment. Can you guys still hear me? I've got no idea if anybody can hear me. But I'm calling Christine and I'm not getting anything. It's saying connecting. Hold on, we're getting somewhere. Something's happening. Yes, Christine, how the devil are you?
I had trouble getting in tonight, John. I don't know what's going on here, but firstly, I couldn't find you, and when you just sent the request there, I kept pressing go live, and nothing happened.
Do you know, I blame the beast from the east.
Must be, yes. Must be your cold spell out there.
Absolutely. I've got no doubt about it. How is Christine?
You've been freezing, haven't you guys, with lots of snow
absolutely.
And everything?
Oh, my God, I've had a cold, I've had everything. It's been brilliant getting over it. It's a struggle, but what would we do without these things, Christine?
Yeah, I mean it's been very cold here as well. It's been extremely cold here, but beautifully sunny, clear blue skies for over a week. So it's gorgeous. It's really lovely. You know, even though we're down to -7, -8 over in the daytime, and down -20 at night sometimes.
Put some salt on these wounds, will you? Please.
Just making you jealous.
I'm absolutely jealous. Totally.
It's wonderful,
The story I've just done of Emma Hannigan, lady in Ireland, an author that just passed away, yeah? She passed away yesterday. 10-year battle with, 11-year battle with cancer. 10 fights in 11 years. Wow. So horrific. But the lady that sent it in to me, it was great to see. It's one of our show followers, Linda Nolan from James's Street in Dublin in Ireland, sent it in. And I just thought it was lovely of her that she wanted to acknowledge that when she went through her own battle, that this lady was her inspiration to fight. Yeah? And that's writers all over the world do give a great inspiration to many. And to let something like that go would be a sin. To me, would be a sin. It would be a crime. You can't let something like that go without acknowledging the greatness and the touch and the foot. It's a footprint. It's an absolute footprint. So tell me how your week went.
Good, very good. Yeah, as I say, rather busy and very cold, but beautifully cold because, as I say, it's been such lovely weather here. It's stunning, and we were out in the woods this morning doing our training, you know, in -2 degrees, but the sun's scorching down on us, and you don't feel much warmth from it, but it's just so beautiful to see the clear blue skies and the sunshine every day for 10 days now, you know, just lovely. So
it's nice to know the sun is actually there that you can see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a bonus. It's a bonus.
I know you've been jealous, you guys in England.
Oh, absolutely. It's been so horrifically horrendous.
Yeah.
Friday, I think, Thursday, Friday were the worst of what was after coming. The winds, 40, 50 miles an hour. And trying to walk and you're being lifted off your feet. You're like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And so much snow, it brings the country to a standstill, doesn't it?
Oh, do you know what? The first snowflakes, this country just is unbelievable. The
Yeah.
first snowflakes to fall,
Falls
London,
apart.
the hub of the country, London immediately cancels the trains.
Yeah.
We
I
haven't even had
know.
a snowfall yet, you know what I mean?
It's
What kind
crazy,
of
isn't
trains do we use in this country?
it? I know, it's chaos. It really is
Do
chaos.
you know, I look at the Canadians and they have 35 feet of snow and the train still goes along the train track.
Yeah,
Absolutely amazes me that. It really,
yeah.
we have an inch of snow and the world stops.
Yeah. Well, as I say, we've had some disruption on the trains and the undergrounds and things because of the low temperatures. I mean, it has dropped a couple of times to below -20 at night.
Yeah.
-15 is, -10 is normal here in the winter, so in the night time. So there has been a bit of disruption, but not anything like it is in England.
Well, it doesn't take anything to stop anything in England. It really, it truly doesn't.
I
I mean,
know.
I'm dreading when autumn comes again and the leaves fall off the trees. Then the trains stop again.
Yeah, oh dear. Yeah.
Honest to goodness me. It
Can't
beggars
believe it.
belief.
I can't believe it. It's amazing.
So, so, Dwayne Leon. I'm getting messages from everywhere. I'm getting them from Messenger. I'm getting them from Facebook. This thing is upside down tonight. I'm not joking. It really is. Hey, do you
Yeah.
know what? I had a great laugh to you tonight. We've done this. I've done the two short stories. One from
Yes.
Alexandra, and I've done one
Yes,
from
I heard it.
Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know
Lovely.
what
Heard them
was? Do
both.
you know what was so delightful about both of them? I had 171 views come in on the story for Alexandra. 246 come in on the children's story.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
92% of those that
Yes, that's
viewed were
fabulous.
adults. Yeah, they were adults.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Adults.
exactly.
Oh, lovely. You see, we
I'm
still love to be
amazed.
read to.
Do you know what? I've realized that just by those two pieces the other night. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
make them
yeah.
regular
Everybody
now.
loves to be read to. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a great hit. I think. I think you're doing
So
good,
that's
good stuff.
I'm going to run at this. I really do want to run at this. Next week,
Yeah.
Christine, you're going to be inundated again.
Well, I am this week. I've got
I
six to read
know.
this week.
Oh, you think that's good? You didn't hear the
Oh, okay.
announcement then, did you? Thank goodness.
No,
Wipe
I
my
didn't
brow.
actually. I couldn't get in. As I say, I had trouble getting onto the show. So
Well,
yeah.
the announcement
What are
was
you going to do to me next week then?
next week, you're
What's
gonna,
coming up?
this is the first time in your life you're probably gonna love to hate somebody. It'll be me. Listen,
What are you going to do then?
we have Mother's Day next week, don't we? So we have our special,
Oh, do you in England? Right.
the
Okay. Yeah.
11th, yeah? And I've asked those viewing now, the viewing audience, to send us in Mother's Day poems, yeah?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I've asked for 8 in total, yeah? I won't throw all 8 at you. I won't, I swear, I promise. I won't
Oh,
throw
that's
the 8
okay.
of them at you.
I don't mind.
And if you get the 8 in through either messenger or email, I'll watch my call. I'll pass over to yourself. Yeah? Now,
Yeah.
we have to go back to our topic of last week. And remember, we got the angry faces.
Yes.
Do
Was
you
it
know
somebody
what?
playing a joke? Oh,
Hey?
was it somebody playing a joke?
No, it was absolutely serious.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it right?
Somebody,
Okay.
somebody really got angry. And you need that as well, though, Christine. You do need the angry people as well. If everything is
Hmm.
running smooth, there's going to be a problem somewhere. And going back to last week, back onto the topic of the erotic poetry. Yeah. Uh, I've gone through the show. I've looked at the comments, and I've had no criticisms.
No, I did. I read them too.
Yeah, none
Mm.
whatsoever. Nobody was against it. So, because you are the reader of this poetry, I'm gonna put it to you now tonight for the rest of them. Once a month, yeah, we will have. How about 2? Will we put a
Yeah,
number on it? We will have 2 erotic
I
poems.
don't mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
lovely.
on the first
Great.
Sunday of every month. Yeah,
Okay.
so if anybody wants to
Mm.
send their erotic poetry to us, like I said, and we said last week, if we feel it needs censoring and it won't be read, it won't be read. And we will ask
Exactly.
somebody else to submit their poem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm quite happy about that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
sure the audience are happy with that as well. It's
Yeah,
not drawing lines in the sand or being prudish or anything else. This is about writing and the fact of writing and what's contained in the writing itself,
Mm.
that we can share peacefully together. Yeah? And
Yep.
nobody's going to pick on anybody, but we will determine between us what is, we feel, good for the whole audience, not just for the
Mm.
author themselves.
Exactly.
So what did I give you? 6 this week, did I?
Yeah. Well, no, you gave me 5,
I
and
gave
I
you
chose
5.
to read one myself. So I found one for
Ooh.
myself. So I'm going to read another one. I'm saving that one to last, though, because I've got a special reason for saving the one I chose till last.
Oh,
But I'll
I
tell you that
see.
later, just to keep you on your nose.
Yes,
Keep you
yes,
on your
yes.
toes.
That'll do.
So shall I start?
You shall. Thank you.
Okie dokie. So which one will I start with? Yes, I think I'm going to start with one from a gentleman called Marius van Wyk, or Wick, I'm not sure which. Wyk, I think. This is very lovely and very fitting for our programme. It has no title, by the way. This light, not known to many, and beheld by e'en fewer, has shone its magnificence upon my puny countenance, blessed me with its intoxicating presence. Deep within the recesses of my soul feel I it stirring, governing my very being to its core. This strange, beautiful force, this graceful creature, whose name shalt be spoken whilst there be hearts that beat, furiously, tenderly, whilst there be emotions savage, fragile, that seek to be let out. This gift given us, known as poetry, of word and deed entwined.
Found this on a poetry group called Poetry in the Blood.
Mm.
I think it was about Tuesday or Wednesday when I come across it. And the gentleman that wrote it, that you just said, Mr. Van Wyk, yeah, that wrote it, he is one huge supporter of poetry, and I say that with aplomb because I watch him in the group, and
Mm.
he gives the most beautiful credits and reads back to the poet exactly what he felt contained in what they write, and it was
Lovely.
magic. And
Mm.
he's like that with everybody, absolutely with everybody. Marius is a
Wonderful.
gentleman, if ever there was, to the poetry world. And he
How lovely. There
writes,
are still gentlemen around.
yeah, he writes some absolutely beautiful stuff. There's another few poets I've met in some of the groups that I'm gonna try and bring along. Um, some of them can't believe there's an actual show out there that will showcase their poetry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me, and then trying to convince them that, well, speak to somebody else in the group, they've been there. Then they come back to you. But I don't know what's happening on Facebook, but people are becoming very untrusting in a
Oh dear.
sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But
Well,
again,
you
like I
can
said,
understand. Really.
as I said, with Marius, I just texted Marius and asked him, was it possible we could have himself or ourselves read his poem
Yeah. Great.
on the show? And he was
Yeah. I liked it
delighted.
very much. Mm.
Absolutely delighted. I thought someone I read it, I thought this would be one Christine will see the shine in. Yeah?
Yes, I
So I
did.
sent it
Yeah.
straight over to you as soon as he gave me permissions. And like we said before, we don't do without permissions. There
Yeah.
was, you're lucky you've only had 5 off me instead. You were nearly having 7, but the other 2 people did not come back to me with permissions. And
All right.
as
Okay.
beautiful
Yeah.
as the poetry was, I decided, no, 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 no.
No, let them give permission first. I
Yeah,
agree with you.
before, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got that. That's a sort of positive one, and then there's a rather sad one now that I'm going to read by Pia Ghosh, and it's called Heartbreak. You colour me with sarcasm and taunt, paint me with contempt. Your words are harsh. They scorch and scald. They torture and torment. A wall of mistrust, suspicion, and doubts around yourself you've built, and force me to languish and weep under a quilt of guilt. Captive am I in your prison of love. Pray don't set me free. Watch in glee as this fragile heart breaks, bit by bit, silently.
Again, Pia. I've come across Pia about 3 months ago. Um, I came across a poem. I think we done one last year, leading up to November. I think it was for Pia
Okay,
Gosh. Yeah, we done one.
I can't remember.
Um, and I come across this one. Then I don't get in your news feed. The news feeds are so very, very strange. Even though you're friends with people on your friends list, you don't get all of their feeds. And being
Yeah,
friends with so
yeah.
many poets, I don't get all the poetry feed, in which I
Mm,
rather expected it would happen. But again, I came across Pia just by chance. Somebody else had commented on the poem, so I followed the link and went and got the poem. And I love the way the woman writes. She writes with so much heart. You
mm,
can you can actually step in and do the rounds alongside Pia herself as she goes. Yeah. And I love
mm.
poetry like that. Something that can
Yes,
take your hand and bring you in.
very
Just while we're
lovely.
there, say hello to Diane Reid Borges. Never misses the show. She's always with us every single week. And
Hello,
it's lovely
Diane.
to
Yes,
see
I
you
see your
here,
name.
Diane. Yeah. And like I said, I can't. That's why I have Charlotte and
Tracy.
Tracy out there. So I miss out on all this, and I really miss out on all this. I really and truly do.
Yeah.
And Angela Gooding is there as well. And Angela's been on a couple of times to read some
Yes.
poetry with us, yeah? And
Yeah. I remember.
Dwayne is in great form. He's absolutely he's running it here. I love it. I've
I hope
enjoyed
Dwayne's there. I hope
he
Dwayne is
is
there tonight. Yeah.
he's in. He's been putting up his comments. Yeah.
Super. Because the last poem will be of great interest to him. Tell you- I'll
I
tell you why
love it.
later. I'll tell
Mm.
you why later. So now I'm going to read one by Charlotte Rains, and this one is called Sitting on the Porch. Sitting on my porch this morning, just pondering the day ahead, I wiggled my toes, rubbed my eyes, and wanted to go to bed. But then I thought, you lazy gal, there's too much out here to do. Get off the porch, stretch your legs and lose a pound or two. So I got up and yawned a bit, then went and made the bed, walking like a sick old mare carrying a ton of lead. Fed my Charlie a few burnt eggs and a cup of his favourite Joe, turned around to flip his jacks and darn near broke my toe. Hopped a bit and said some words that made old Charlie stare. He turned and made a silly face right through his long grey hair. You silly nut, I laughed out loud and hobbled to my seat. It's been a long and tiring day. Think I'll stop and rest my feet.
And as I was saying there a couple of minutes ago, we're bringing in the humorous, comic kind of
Yeah,
poetry, and it'll be a great thing for the show itself because we fail to realize poetry is not just all about love and flowers and moons and stars. It's about everything. And
yes,
yeah, bringing in a new genre is absolutely fantastic.
yeah,
Uh,
great.
Charlotte sent me that little one, and I'm gonna have more from Charlotte as well as we go along because she has written some absolutely wonderful little humorous
Yeah,
poems.
lovely.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
need them. It's like
yeah.
the limericks and everything else. It's absolutely fabulous. And after later on in a little bit, we will have Nina will be coming on with two
Yes.
humorous poems, and I think we
I've read
know.
one of them.
I think we know what Nina's humor is like now. And it's
Yes, great.
fantastic. It's absolutely
Wonderful.
fabulous. I mean, like I said last week, she took Palmer's crown. She certainly has. When I look at some of the writing she's done on these humorous poems, I think to
Yeah.
myself, wow, get your own BBC show, girl. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. She's great. Love her work. When we do the next erotic poetry, I'll send you another one of a funny one, a
Yes?
comic genre. Yeah. So you
Excellent.
have one. Well, I'll probably read it myself, I guess. But
I was just gonna
yeah.
say just then, it sound funny for me, wouldn't it? Really?
Um, it might. Yes. Well, no, no, it wouldn't really. But
No, I'd have to
yeah, it's
find a
sort of.
pink wig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that would be nice. Right, the next one I'm going to read is from Susan Worrell. This is another lovely one, rather sad, but very beautifully sad. And it's called, just a second, it's called She Came. He sits on a bench in the field of the dead. So many thoughts circled his head. Weeks turned to months, months turned to years. Time never altered the volume of tears. 42 years she lay by his side. He smiles at the memory of his beautiful bride. Not a day passed him by. 3 years now she'd now passed, but every day he walked up this path, sat on this bench, awaiting a sign. Today, through the rain, the sun starts to shine. Out of the blue a rainbow appears, a familiar face he saw through his tears. A hand circled his, he turned to his side. There on the bench was his beautiful bride. "It's time, Tom," she said. "I've been waiting a while. It's time that you joined me." Tom started to smile. "I'm ready, my sweet. Show me the way." As they walked hand in hand, Tom passed through that day.
No, when I read it the other night before I sent it to you, I'd asked Susan, could I have it to put on the show?
Yeah.
And I was looking at the amount of comfort that can add to somebody who has lost the nearest and dearest. And I thought, again, it was a different poem to the poetry I'd already sent you. And I'm trying to do that each week. Find what has that little bit of difference in, what it offers. And that offers a whole load of pick me up, closure, everything within. And
very pretty, very beautiful.
It's beautifully put together, yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
And Charlotte's one with Charlie. I have visions. I have visions of the times I've stubbed my toe. And I mean, my language is a little bit bluer than what Charlotte actually presented to us tonight, you know?
Yes, I can imagine, yes.
Yeah.
I think mine would be too, actually.
Oh, dearest.
Yeah. Well, now I've got a lovely one from our very darling Myrna Bajero. This is gorgeous. It's called His Creation. And it's so picturesque. It's so stunningly picturesque. His Creation. I am mesmerized by the setting sun, saying farewell in the western horizon. It is paying homage, it seems, to the moon and its eastern rising, painted in a cascade of colours that blend and meld with the skies of blue. It is the work of the master artist and is a gift for me and for you. I see the rambunctious reds, the golden hues of orange and yellow, a tint of brown and the perplexing purples that streak a colour of sunset not often found. I sit in wonder of this creation that lights the memory of passing day, to be repeated when tomorrow leaves in another cascade of colours on display. The sun now falls, but leaves behind its canvas, its painted glory, for he who paints must now depart to tell of moon's rising story. Oh, that I could paint such beauty! But alas, it is not within my talent. He does give me words, however, to write of this sky magnificent. I can but hope that I make him proud as I describe what I have seen, his story of the falling sun, in coloured words of a sunset's dream.
Mine are the free Bajro that has come from, and I actually said when I first met Marna, how in God's name I'm fully sighted.
Yeah.
And when I close them, the colours you show me are better than the colours I see outside. They're more vibrant,
absolutely,
more bright. And
I felt the same, yeah.
Your detail is just unbelievable. She makes you stop and look at what's in front of you. And you learn how to appreciate quite quickly reading Marna's poetry. You learn how to appreciate exactly what is around you. And I don't know, that everybody has a way of doing things. And in poetry, and I'll say it until I'm possibly getting buried. I'll probably even say it after I'm buried somehow. what we write in words have a great meaning to anything we have touched or been involved with or has been around us. I mean, there's not many can do it, but when they do, you get somebody like Marna who does it so beautifully. You've got to appreciate the written word. And
It's
again,
wonderful.
the spoken word. And the volume from your voice bringing Marna's words out here. It's
Mm.
what we call the soul of the poem. It's given
Yeah.
its own lease of life. It's given its own creation. Although it's being
Mm.
created in word, in the ink, the difference of when it's presented properly in its tone, and the tone's there.
Mm.
Wow, it's just
Yeah.
mesmerizing.
It is a mesmerizing poem. It's beautiful to read. It's just such a joy to read, you
It
know.
is.
Well, they
It
all
is.
are in their own way. They
Yeah,
all are.
every
I love
one of
them
them.
all.
I, I,
Absolutely.
I know, and I don't like saying this to be honest. I really don't, but I'll say it because it's truth. Many times you go down the page of poems, and like I said before, I spent honestly nearly 17 hours reading
Yeah.
poetry on and
Yeah.
off through the day. My phone runs for 17 hours.
Mm.
So I will look down the poetry, and you come to ones such as, whether it be Myrna, Charlotte, Dwayne, Susan, whoever we come across, and then you come to something in between. It's rubbish.
Mm.
And you're caught now between the rock and the hard place. Do I put a thumbs up? Do I give a comment? And you feel guilty for what we
Mm.
will see as a lack of effort in
Mm.
trying to tell your story. But again, you go back to mine, you could not pass that poem without making a comment. You must have a
No.
comment.
Yeah,
Something must
exactly.
come to mind. It's not just a
Mm.
thumbs up poem, it is a commenting poem.
It's wonderful. Yeah. Absolutely
Absolutely
stunning.
beautiful.
Yeah. I thought so too. Really enjoyed. Well, I've enjoyed them all, as I say, but I do like her work very, very much. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes? Well, I think the appreciation we have, the appreciation they have for us is unbelievable. I mean, let's go back 6 months. I don't think you or I would have thought that something like this was developing among the poetry world. And
No,
it has. And
it's
it's
wonderful.
developing beautifully.
It
It
is.
is.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely
great.
wonderful. Yeah. And it's growing and it's reaching out. And like I said, the more people we can bring in and bring together, the more the show can develop. And I'm looking at there's people now starting to go live.
Mm.
Fabulous. That's the whole idea. Bring it out.
Yeah, it is.
Bring it out.
Yeah,
It can't
it
just be in
is.
one place. It has to be everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I've got my last one now. Now, this I want to dedicate to all the Americans out there. It makes me think of Dwayne because he reads a lot of English poetry and Irish poetry and stumbles over the pronunciation sometimes and laughs at
I
himself. So,
love it. Yeah.
you guys, tonight, I'm going to give you a big giggle, okay? I found this poem by Shirley Shattuck, and it just has to be read with an American accent. It just lends itself totally to being read in an American accent. But I have got no idea how to do an American accent, really. So what I'm going to sound like, I just do not know where this accent's coming from, whether it's north, south, east, west, up the hill, down the road, no idea. I'm going to make a complete fool of myself with this. So you are very welcome,
Yes.
guys, to laugh at my expense, okay? Have a good old giggle, yeah?
Cool.
I'm just gonna swap my phone to the other hand because I need to concentrate on this. It's quite difficult for me to do. Just a second. Just move around here. Oops. Okay, here we go. I'll give it my best. Surely, if you don't like this, I will read it again for you in my normal British accent if you wish, but I think you might find it a bit of fun, you know. So, this is called This Old Pond. And this is a first for me, I promise. It's a debut in American. I've fished all my life in this old pond. My grandpa, my dad, and me. They started bringing me here when I was just a wee lad of 3. It was just a small rowboat with a little trolling motor, not much for anyone to be impressed over. but my forefathers were all great men. I learned a little about fishing and a lot about living from them. Daddy used to throw his line way out in the water. He'd say, "Now, son, when you get older, one day you're gonna look into a sweet gal's eyes and probably fall over." He'd start carefully watching his bobber. Then Grandpa would happily chime in, "And you're gonna wonder, how did I ever live this long without her?" Then Pa would stop and watch a minute or so, as something sure enough was tugging at that bobber's bait. He spoke cautiously. "Just remember to play it cool and stand back. It'll be hard to do, son, but you must wait." Just then the hungry fish pulled Pa's bobber all the way under. Pa jerked back on the line, and by the look on his face, he knew he had got her. Then he said, slowly, "You see, son, you gotta wait for her to make the first move towards you." Then Gramps would chime in, "That's when you move in quickly, son. You hook your arm around her waist and reel her on in for the kiss." I thank God for awesome lessons like this, with my grandpa, my daddy, and this old pond where we fished. I laid my grandpa and my pa to rest quite a few years ago. Nowadays it's just me and my little son, Joe. And you guessed it, he's learning a little about fishing and a lot about living, like I have come to know, on this old pond, where a fishing us men and boys will go.
You have the cutest Southern American accent ever. You're down in the Cotton States, woman. Down in the Cotton States you are. You will be picking cotton for the next 25 years, you. Oh my God, that's brilliant.
I thought
I
you
love
might
the
have a touch
accent.
of something southern, but I've no idea what this is.
The next time you're on, bring us a Kentucky Fried Chicken, please, will you? Oh my God, I'll have a bucket. Christine, that was brilliant. Your voice was so different in that one. Absolutely.
We'll see what the Americans say.
So-
We'll see what the Amis say. They're the real
Oh,
judges of
here comes Dwayne. He's still laughing, and this is the man that was trying to
Good.
pronounce Ballymahan yesterday. You know, I mean
Exactly.
Ballymahan. Yeah, that was it, Dwayne. I didn't want to say anything, but you forced me on.
Dwayne, it's you
Oh,
who's given me
that
the
was
It's
yes.
Dwayne who's given me the courage to try this. So I've never done any American before in my life. So there you go, guys. Have a good laugh.
He's actually said just then a southern accent. Sure enough,
Yes, I thought.
is Oh, he's gonna love that being up in Washington, isn't he? Absolutely gonna love that.
But I just really felt that the poem just lent itself to be done in American, because I did, of course, read it in my own voice, but it just so sweet in this Southern American drawl kind of idea, you know. So yeah, I hope Shirley
Yeah,
likes
well,
it anyway.
but that ruins the show now, doesn't it? It means next week you'll be working for Fox or NBC or ABC, and the Dear John show is gone. You know, you're whipped off your feet now.
It was fun. It was fun to play around with it and have a go, you know. And I'm sure the Americans on the show will appreciate my attempts.
No, I read it last week, and in the Mayan sound, I'm reading it in an American accent because that's
Yeah.
exactly what it needs, and that's why I love the idea we have on the show of bringing writers to read their own poetry, because it is very
Yeah.
important we get the voice and the accents
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well to come on. It's just, as we've said before, some people are a bit shy for coming on in front of the camera, and
Yes.
excuse
Yeah,
me,
well,
and things like that.
I was too, as you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was too. Angela Goering's just written The Waltons, and yes, I think that probably was my inspiration.
You know that, John boy? Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now I've made a complete fool of myself. So
No,
That's good.
now you have
Good on-
brightened the show all the way up. The lights
Well,
are
you said you
glowing
wanted-
now.
you said you wanted some humour, so there you go.
And well, what better way to have humor? And we've said it before, Christine. The way to laugh together is when we laugh at ourselves.
Yeah,
That's
guy.
the best laughter of all.
Definitely.
That everybody can join in and know it's comfortable to do so. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm The gentleman usually comes in every week and always has a nice comment and a nice remark to pass on when you're reading that. And it's Ed Clinton. But Ed's not with
All
us
right.
this week because he's celebrating his birthday today.
Oh, right.
So a
Okay.
very big, huge happy birthday to you, Ed, and all back in Ireland. Hope you're having a great day. Believe me, he'll be having a great day. He'll have his paddy whiskey and everything going now. Well, Ed, and it's freezing over where he is because they had some of the worst snow that Ireland might hit with.
He's in Ireland as well, is he?
He's in Ireland, yeah.
Okay. Let's plug my phone back in now so I don't run out of juice on you. Right, there we go.
That's what I done. I borrowed my daughter's hands-free. It's God, what is it called? It's called a lazy arm. It just clips onto the table, and then the spine comes out. You just clip your phone to the spine, so I can be hands-free, and I don't have to hold the thing and get cramp holding
All right,
on
I'm
to it for so
holding
long.
one and about and backwards and forwards and all over the place.
And do you know what's made me laugh? She's gotten this great little gadget for £4. Yeah, £4. It cost me 16 quid for the thing that I hold in my hand. So guess what? I'm going to go and get one of these things for £4 as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant little gadget. Absolutely amazing.
What does it look like, John? Can you show it to us?
I can,
No, you
yeah.
probably
It's yeah. It's going to be backwards, by the way.
All right, okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah.
Yes, I can, yes.
The bottom piece
Okay.
doesn't stand. You clip it onto something. But
Yeah,
once you do, it's sturdy. Well, I hope it's sturdy. It hasn't hopped off yet. But yeah, hopefully it stays sturdy. But you can put it anywhere. But it gives me the opportunity when I'm at work and that I can actually, instead of having to sit down and hold the camera into me, I can walk about. So if I'm reading something, I can put more emphasis into something I'm reading, yeah?
Yeah,
As I'm
yeah.
going along. And forget about the camera being there because it'll be on me anyway. So I can lose that concentration of the camera and just carry on.
Yeah.
I'm believing I'm growing in a bit of confidence now and I'm getting settled in doing what I'm
Yeah,
doing. I'm really enjoying it. I really and truly am. As I said, this is what
so
I
am
look
I.
forward to every week. Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot. I
Well,
really do. It's a great hobby.
yeah, it is so enjoyable, but you can see the confidence in us all.
Yeah.
Between us all, you can see the confidence, even when we're bringing somebody on to read. After 2 minutes, how that confidence lifts,
Yeah.
and their comfort zone is enclosing, and it's brilliant because now they feel warm and they know it's themselves. Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. I had to bully Nina into coming in tonight too.
I'm delighted. Can't wait.
Yeah, because
So switch me off and bring her on. Switch me off.
Shall I switch you off? Shall I switch
Turn
you
me
off?
off, baby. Turn me off.
Turn me off.
And bring on Nina.
Listen. You've just given out the great first piece for the erotica for next week, or for next month, should I say. It should have been this week, shouldn't it? So we might do it next week to make up for the first week of the month. But
we'll see.
We can't. It's Mother's Day. We can't have erotica. Good God, it's a day
No,
off.
we can't.
No,
it's not the right day next week.
Oh, the words you spoke just a moment ago could start off the next erotica poem.
Yes.
Switch me off, baby. Turn me off. Yeah.
Turn me off.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Dead right.
51 Shades of Grey. We forgot this one.
Yeah. 1 Shades of Grey. Probably Shades of Black, I should think.
Oh my God Almighty! It will be when we're finished. Christine, have a beautiful weekend.
You
and
too, darling.
Thanks a million for being here
You're very
again
welcome.
tonight. Absolutely beautiful reading.
Yeah,
oh
lovely.
yes, you'll see the comments yourself. I'm looking at them going down. Some absolutely wonderful comments again. And again, can't thank you enough for being there. Thank you so much.
It was fun. See you all soon.
Have a lovely weekend.
Look forward to seeing you, Nina. Bye.
You're on the hot seat now, Nina. Bye-bye, Christine. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Nina Thielen. Oh, Nina Thielen. What the hell has happened here? My camera's gone backwards. I don't believe this. How do I turn it back around on that one? That's the one. Stop messing about, camera. Nina Thielen. We're ready for you, Nina. Yeah, we're ready for Nina now. And there's Ed Clinton. Happy birthday again, Ed. Lovely to see you there, mate. Hello, Nina.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm
Hey,
good. Well,
good.
thank you.
My God Almighty, you've given me some stuff over the weekend with these humorous poems and quotes and everything. Absolute piled up, but wow. But I had to steal I can't use that word, can I? I had to use your quote
Yeah,
that you sent me this morning
thank
for
you.
our angry person last week
Uh,
because I
yeah.
loved it. I love this quote. It just says it all. It really, it truly does. In a nutshell. But I'm not gonna read it yet because because I'm looking for a good laugh and good fun and you've got it all there with you.
Have
Yeah, I know you have.
I? Yeah, I have. I've got the two that you requested. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah. So poor old Andy, and his DIY. Bless him. I did say I hadn't named him, and it it wasn't about him, but he's
He's got it now.
yeah. So shall we go for his DIY one first?
Oh, might I just warn our viewers? Yeah, listen, guys, get yourself tucked up. Don't hold a hot drink in your hand whatever you do. Just leave it down for a couple of minutes and wait till this poem is finished. Because I'll tell you what, boys, there's one of us in every part of this poem. I don't care who
Oh,
we
bless.
are. Go on. Give
Oh,
us the shock of our lives, Nina.
have you seen Andy's comment? My DIY is amazing.
Yeah.
Right, here goes.
Go on.
It's called I Really Wish He Wouldn't. It is not his favourite pastime. There are those he favours more. So I'm filled with great foreboding when I see him with a saw. Under great duress he'll tackle what is known as DIY, but it's more like death by Dremel. I must quell the urge to cry. For each task that's undertaken bears a feature quite unique. And it's there, right there before you. It's not something you must seek. In his toolbox he has gadgets that no other men possess, with a marker saying nearly, that'll do if it's not pressed. Either both his eyes are wonky or his spirit level bubble needs a little bit more buoyancy, because boy, it's caused some trouble. I've got shelves on the diagonal, every picture frame is out, and the table legs just wobble like a drunk man with bad gout. I keep topping up the first aid, its supplies go down at speed. It's as though the job's not finished till extremities start to bleed. I've performed some minor surgery, I'd be great in A&E. I'd not need to go for training, I get practice all for free. I could maybe make a fortune if I patent some ideas, but I'd worry about suing when his concepts end in tears. There'd be queues of limbless strangers lining up outside our gate, which he screwed into a lamppost back in 1958. It's the power tools I fear most, as it means one thing, of course, that all DIY disasters are performed with extra force. For an anti-home improver, he's amassed a vast array of the finest untouched gizmos which don't see the light of day. It is not his favourite pastime, there are those he favours more, but he'll never be defeated, this I know, and what's for sure. Even though it's rather stressful, doesn't always look its best, we've a house of special features, and for this I'm truly blessed. Sorry, Andy.
You know, when I read that, the very first time I read that particular piece you've read on the DIY, it brought me back to when I moved to the UK and I'd gotten a flat, my very first flat, and I was delighted with it. I've got my own bachelor pad.
I think he might now.
And I went in and I discovered Wilkinson's. Wow! You could get anything in Wilkinson's,
Yeah,
from a
like
needle to an
Wilco's.
anchor.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And they were after bringing in this new shelving. And I used to do boat collections, ship collections.
Yeah.
And my daughters would get me a ship when it was coming around to certain parts of the year and that, yeah?
Yeah.
But I had nowhere to put them. And I was beside myself. They're going to get broken. I can't just leave them in the boxes on the floor. No. Got to get them on. So I got shelves, didn't I? You were talking about the spirit level and the bubble.
Yeah.
Well, I had a spirit level, but it was my eyes, and they're wonky as it is. And I decided I'm not going to try and drill the walls. So what I will do is, Wilko's had no nails. Wow! Everything was working out for me brilliant. So I got no nails.
All right, yeah.
And I put my shelves together, and I put my no nails on the wall. And I made that great mistake.
You
I
put
didn't
something
peel
on
the
it.
wallpaper. No. I put the no nails on the wallpaper, didn't I? Put them up for the night. The next morning, the shelves are still up. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
But I got the shelves for purpose, didn't I? To put my ships on. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting ready for work. Goes in, has a shave, has a wash. And I'm getting ready. Went in and put my ships on the shelves.
Yeah.
And I admired them before I went out. 3 sets of shelves. 6 ships. I thought, brilliant. And I left. And I went to work. And I come into a catastrophe. My ships were sunk on the floor.
Come on.
The loft fell down and pulled the wallpaper and strips and everything else. And I thought, how am I going to tell the landlady about this?
Oh, you did a good job then.
I done brilliant. I was so proud.
If it's worth doing, it's worth doing properly.
Well, when you're going to make a, excuse my French, a cock-up, make sure it's a cock-up.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Yes. Love that one, Nina. That one is just brilliant. It's home.
Yeah. He's probably going to say this one's him as well, but it's really not. It's not the subject of all my poems. So this one is Midlife Crisis. I don't know what's got into him. He's like a man possessed. First it started with a piercing, then the waxing of his chest. At the weekend he got tattooed. It's a quite alarming sight when he gets up for a tinkle in the middle of the night. You can't even call it midlife, this here crisis that he's having. He was well past that time bracket when this transformation happened. He came home one day announcing he was starting mountain biking. Now my husband's bits in lycra is a vision rather frightening. He has traded in his corduroys for ripped jeans, stonewashed look, and his lovely Aran jumpers hang redundant on a hook. He's not even wearing vests now, says they're so last season, man. From the waist up he's turned gothic, from the waist down, Desperate Dan. He's bought tickets to a concert, claims he's camping in a tent. After one night in a sleeping bag, he'll wake up stiff and bent. There's a drum kit in the garage, which he's having lessons on. I think Ringo can rest easy. He can only play one song. Oh, dear God, what's that he's sporting in full frontal on his chest? It's the biggest gold medallion nestling on his man-boob breasts. He's signed up at our gymnasium, says he's off to pump some iron. He will do himself a mischief. I'm part laughing and part crying. Never one for new technology, he's now bought himself a phone. I get random youth speak messages even when we're both at home. He's become an online gamer, has the username Gramps Cool, with that stupid VR headset, more like geriatric fool. I don't know where this is going or how long that it will last. All this trying to be youthful is a blooming great big farce. He can carry on pretending he's a lad still in his teens. I don't blame him hiding really from the fact he's 83. And that's not you, Andy, promise.
You've even put years on him. Oh my God.
40 actually.
Oh, I used to work with a lad, going back a few years, I used to work with a lad. And the place where we worked, the warehouse we were in, used to do bicycles. £1,000, £1,500. And you still had to pedal them, by the way. They didn't go on their own.
How awful.
You still had to pedal them.
Yeah.
You're paying all that for them. And they still got punctured when he went over glass, believe it or not.
Oh.
But yeah, and he bought one of these. But once he bought the bike, he had to buy the accessories.
Absolutely.
The helmet, the
Yeah.
lycra, the whole lot.
Yeah.
And one night he'd left work, and he had driven the bike in his car on the rack, brought
Right.
the bike in. Nobody had ever seen Paul dressed like this before in their lives. And I was on duty. and I'm doing a car park patrol. When Paul comes along and is like, and all, oh, I've never laughed as much in my life as I
Yeah,
laughed.
it's not the best of sights, is it?
And I had everybody gathered round the camera at the desk. We're not supposed to do this, by the way, but I had everybody gathered round the desk looking at Paul in his great life. The lad,
Isn't
the
that
lad
voyeurism?
did not live it down. Oh, yes, totally. And it was the best voyeurism in the world. I didn't know about YouTube at the time. I could have put it up, you know?
We've got a cycling cafe in the town where I live. Usually on a Sunday, I think, there's a group of cyclists that amass there and stop off and have something to eat and drink. And yeah, there's a bit too much lycra for my liking. That's the last time I'll eat sausage and eggs, I can tell you.
I love the bikers meets. I used to love back in Ireland. I used to love when we'd have a chance to get out of country because everything in Ireland is different to Dublin.
Yeah.
It's like London in England. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is different to Dublin. I mean, once you go outside of Dublin, whether you're going to Kildare or Wicklow or anything else, you're in the real world. Truly, you're in the real world. I mean, they still do the scones and tea outside of little shops, like little cottages. Yeah. In Dublin, they mug you for a cup of coffee or a scone.
Nice.
That's absolutely one of those.
I won't be going to Dublin anytime soon then.
Oh, no, will I? No, will I? Good God Almighty!
Yeah.
No. Oh, what a week for poetry, and in your group itself, Nina.
Yeah.
In Poetry in the Blood,
Yeah.
there has been absolutely, and you've got some new members in
I have.
that you've gotten in, and the poetry put up for first postings.
Yeah.
Mesmerizing, some of them have been absolutely
definitely.
brilliant.
Yeah, we're getting more and more people in, and yeah, the quality of the poetry is brilliant. Well, I pointed you in the direction of one the other night, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. There's a lady, Linda Richards.
Yeah.
Linda Richards.
Yeah.
I've messaged Linda, and like I said earlier on in the program, I won't, unless I get permission, read somebody's poem.
No.
I don't think it's fair. I think it's fair that you get the permission because it's nice that the person who's written it knows that somebody else is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Reading it for them or whatever. Yeah. If they want to come and read it themselves, they're always more than welcome. I just want to mention oh my God, Vandita Darnley. Just to say hello to Vandita. I don't get very many people that I can see the names coming in.
Yeah.
I'm on the live cam. Yeah. But Vandita's just come in. And Vandita, that's another lady. I'd love to bring Vandita on if she would be willing to come on, read a poem. Vandita writes some beautiful poetry as well.
I think it's getting the word out, isn't it? Because a couple of people that you've asked me to soften up for you, shall we say?
Yes. Yes.
They've been very receptive. So they go, oh yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to. So I think, once word spreads a bit more about the show, I think you'll get more and more people on.
Well, I used to ask at the start of the show or at the end of a show each week. There's a little share button down there.
There is.
To those receiving.
Yeah.
And just share the show. That's I can only get it to you guys. It's where you guys get it from there.
Yeah.
That invites other people then, because they will be the friends on your list that you will speak to, whether it's on a daily basis or not. The people you will have communicated with.
I owe Andy an apology because I blamed him last week thinking he'd invited everybody in. But of course, it's this blooming go live thing, isn't it, on Facebook?
Yes.
So as soon as that's there, and then of course everyone, and I've seen quite a few names pop up again already. And I'm hoping that they've now all switched off. But no, that's the way to do it.
Once you go live with me and I go live, it won't inform everybody in your friends list because Facebook only do a certain percentage.
Right, okay.
But it will do those that you mainly focus with during your week of whatever you're doing on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So they would be the first ones in your news feed to get the notification. And those that are regular to the show will get the notification.
Okay.
And again, on the panel itself while we're on live, there's one there that says, get notifications when the Dear John show is live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they press on the notifications, it just means when it comes up, you can either do it or take it or leave it.
Yeah,
I do it with Dwayne's. I know when Dwayne's is coming on now because I've gone on notifications. And I like Dwayne's. Like I said, Dwayne brings up the poetry from those that have passed. I do the
Okay.
poetry for those that are here with us, yeah?
Yeah.
And I don't know very much about past poets because I've never really deeply researched them. But I learn an awful lot about the modern day poets, the
Yeah.
ones that are still alive and kicking
Yeah.
and bringing the messages forward. And that's what I want to do, follow that
Well, I'll
road.
be honest. I was dreading if that was gonna if that was gonna be one of your questions last week. Who are your favourite poets? I wouldn't have had a clue. I don't know. I don't read poetry. Well, it's only now. But I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know famous poets. I can name you Pam Ayres and Shakespeare, and that's about it. You know.
it's funny.
Yeah. I don't read poetry in books. I only read it in the group on the forums really now. So yeah.
The same as me, and that's the route I followed. I mean, yeah, growing up in school, we learned about Shakespeare and Byron and Poe and
Oh yeah, good old Byron.
Emily, whatever her name was. We learned about the poets.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really didn't want to go down the Shakespeare route because it was a different language
Yeah.
in the first place and very hard to understand. So
Mm.
you needed an interpreter with you to
Yeah.
tell you what the hell you just read.
Exactly. Yeah. It's too heavy for me.
Wait, wait. Yeah.
It's far too intellectual for me.
I would drown in it, Nina.
Yeah.
And I have drowned in it many,
Yeah.
many
I've
times.
tried
I have
many,
drowned.
many times, but I think if I'm struggling that hard to read something, I'm not going to enjoy it. So,
No.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna miss the message or whatever it is it's
Yeah.
contained in there.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
It's like if you're reading
That's
a
an
book.
insult to the person that's read it.
Yeah. If you're
I
reading
wrote
a
it.
book and you struggle to get past the first couple of pages, it's not happening.
Stop.
Yeah.
No. Just stop. Burn the book.
Yeah.
And just as you mentioned a minute ago, Palm
A bit
Ayres.
drastic.
I know. But there you go. You mentioned Palm Ayres, and yesterday I was just taking some stuff down off the top of my wardrobe. And lo and behold, after having you on the show last week and saying, you've now stolen Palm Ayres' crown, right?
Yeah.
The book I'm looking at in my hands is Palm Ayres,
Yeah.
her story. And I remember when I read it about 3 years ago.
Right.
And it brought me back to when I was younger and sitting on the chair and watching Pam Ayres come up and sit on a chair on stage before she put in the roles of the acting and all that and doing the bits and pieces.
Well,
But when
I
she used to
was
just sit.
I was fortunate enough. I searched for tickets for BBC tickets for audiences, and I won 2 tickets to go and see Pam Ayres recording her radio show. And
Wow.
a friend and I went. It was only about a month ago. A friend and I went to London, and we watched her record 2 radio shows that will be coming up later be put out by the BBC later in the year. And I tell you, she is as funny as she ever was. She's brilliant. I worship that woman. I really do.
Oh, she was my idol.
She was mine. I mean, such a talent, such a sense of humour. And she's got the most wicked grin on her. She's full of mischief. She's absolutely full of mischief.
She actually practically says that in her book, actually, about herself, about being mischievous. And she just loves the challenge.
She's full of naughtiness. She is, and that's
Big
where
time.
her writing comes from. So yeah, very, very lucky to go and see her live. Really lucky.
Beautiful. I'm so envious, really.
Oh,
Really, so
I'm
envious. Yeah.
envious.
So envious.
Yeah.
My idol growing up, she was. Now, you're not getting away that easy, by the way.
What have I done?
Nah. What have you done? You've done brilliant, actually, haven't you? You've done absolutely wonderful. Why don't you tell us all about your achievement
What
of your
achievement?
poems that have been published?
Oh.
Oh, wow. Come and share it with us, Nina. Come on.
Thanks, John.
No problem.
Oh, I'm having
I
you
do
off.
do my homework now and again. I really do.
Yeah, I opened 2 lovely letters this morning, which notified me that 2 different competitions that I entered, my poems have been chosen to be published in books. So yeah, that was really nice to find this morning.
And these of course, they're anthology books, aren't they?
They are, yeah, they were competitions. So one of them was about pets. So it could be anything. It could have been humorous. It could have been how much we love our pets, what our pets means to us, whatever. And I actually wrote one, and I'll show you the subject of the one that I wrote about pets. It's him. It's the hound, Marley.
So Andy, you're not on your own getting these poems wrote about you.
Yeah.
Also the hound.
I think anyone within my realm is fair game, really.
Yes.
Wow. The other one was a bit of a curveball, actually, because it was a guy I used to talk to on one of the groups, and we used to throw each other a word or a phrase or a subject to write about. And he gave me 3 things. I can't even remember. It was probably a year ago now. He gave me 3 subjects to write about, and one of them was technology. And I thought, what on earth am I going to do with technology? It didn't float my boat at all. but I wrote this piece, and then I happened to be looking through various forums and what have you, and I came across this competition, and the title was technology, and I thought, oh, I've already got a poem written. So I submitted it, and yeah, as I say, it was months ago. I'd completely forgotten about it, and then both of them have got places in 2 different books. So yeah, wow. Yeah, really
that is just awesome.
Yeah,
totally awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, John.
No problem. Like I said, I do sometimes lose that lazy streak I've got, and I go and look at some things on the internet that will be interesting, and it's most interesting for anybody, because we said last week, we don't just write to stick in an envelope in a shoebox under the bed.
No, of course
we write to share.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you've done. You've shared your work.
Yeah.
It's gone out there, and it's being judged, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And accepted and being put into the anthology.
Yeah. Yeah. I am proud of it. I am, it is a great achievement, and yeah, I did give myself a bit of a pat on the back, I'll be honest.
Yes, and so you should. We're giving you a pat on the back here as well. Oh, absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. It's great.
I
mean, as I said to Christine, I love watching through the show and through the week when I'm interacting with people, yourself or Tracy or whoever I will be interacting with. I love to watch the growth and hear the good news pieces of something that's happening, uplifting. Yeah. Like I said before, there's enough bad news around us. It's great to have some good news to uplift.
Yeah.
I mean, your story tonight is going to be an inspiration to somebody else who has never entered a competition and wants to.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I haven't entered that many really, but I've been fortunate enough that well, this is now my 3rd. I had a love poem published last year, I think it was. That was a competition entry as well. That was my first one, actually. That was lovely. That was a real surprise. And then yeah, I've had these 2. So yeah, 3 books with me out there somewhere in the world.
But it's that is just wonderful. I mean, are they going to give you a book?
No, do you know what? Cheeky what's it? You have to buy it. I was like, well, how rude.
Wow, that sounds like some people I knew a little bit back.
Yeah, we had that conversation.
They did. Yes, you give us your poem and we'll sell you it back. Yeah, no problem.
Right, yeah, but then when you consider, I think in the letter they said that they choose somewhere between 80 and 120 poems. So I suppose if they gave away 120 books, so yeah. But there you go. It's all good.
But are they asking the libraries to buy them?
Well,
or are they donating them? That's where I don't like the weighing scales of life very much. It's either one way all the way or no way at all.
I know.
That's me.
I must admit, it did fleetingly. It did cross my mind, because I thought, well, hang on a minute. We've already paid to enter the competition. I know that the books have got to be printed and published and everything else, but you'd think that they would either give it to the people that contribute or the people that have been published either at a reduced price or just give us the books, but they don't, and there you go. And I'm very grateful that I'm published in them, so I don't want to upset anybody.
Do you know what kills me, Nina? They will self-publish the book, possibly with Lulu or whatever the hell.
I don't know
And
who.
they will self-publish the book. Yeah. Whatever is up front. They don't start, money doesn't go out until the first one is sold, type of thing. Yeah. So you're not actually paying for anything. It doesn't sell.
That's true.
You're not paying for anything.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh man.
They are beautiful.
Great one.
The one that my love poem was published in. I mean, it is a beautiful book, a beautiful paperback, and they are really nicely presented. So yeah, it is what it is.
So you've got 2 books coming now.
I think the published date is the end of May. So yeah, at the end of May, I've got to find some edits. Like, read my own poem.
Yes, and why not?
Yeah.
Listen, it all goes onto your curriculum vitae.
And then I'll put it
Yeah.
in the cupboard and they'll gather dust. But there you go.
No, it's got to gather something.
Yeah. So
Who knows?
I've always been a bit reluctant. I've got one very good friend, Kerry, bless her. And if ever anyone has said to me, so what do you do? I just sit and look, and I'm kind of like, and she goes, she's a writer, she's a poet. I just can't bring myself to say it to people, but I guess now that I'm published for the 3rd time, maybe I can start to say it.
Yeah, you've got to start saying it. With gutso,
Yeah.
Nina. With gutso.
Yeah.
All right, do you know it? You can take that piece of. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Then show them the book. That's me.
Yeah, I've got to prove it first. Though.
Go get some reading done. Yeah, that's me. Now you know who I am.
Oh, it's poetry. Oh, don't bother then. Yeah.
Oh, Nina, you're a star. You know what? You've given us a great laugh tonight.
Yeah.
Really and truly given us a great laugh tonight.
Good.
Thanks a
Glad.
million.
No problem.
No, we're gonna have more and more of your stuff. And listen,
Yeah.
don't worry about thinking you're taking over the show or you're on too often. Yeah? First come, first served.
No,
That is the policy of this show.
I
So if nobody comes, and you come.
yeah, I don't want to bore anybody. I don't want to, I don't want people to think, oh God, not her again.
If you think your stuff is boring, you're reading the wrong stuff.
Actually,
It's anything but.
I should have with your conversation with Christine at the beginning of the show about the weather. I should have read the one that I wrote in the week about the weather conditions. But maybe we can have that another week.
Of course, yeah. Of course, yes. Like I said, you've got all the contacts. You can get me on Messenger, get me on email, send it anywhere you like. Yeah, you can send it to me.
Yeah.
And already, yourself and Susan Worrell are the first 2 of 8 that have sent me poems for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So of the 8, just to let the audience know, we've already got 2 in of the 8 have been received. So we've got 6 more places for Mother's Day special next week.
Yeah, I can't read mine. I've already said that to you.
No, you've told me that already, yeah. But again, after reading your poem myself, yeah, and it's in the same context as you've given it to me in email, yeah, is exactly how it will go to Christine.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is one that Christine, I know, just reading it myself, I know, you broke my bloody heart with it, I'll give you that. Giving it to Christine, I know Christine will be absolutely pitch perfect for this particular piece.
Good.
Yeah. Very confident in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah. I read it last night, and then I read it again this morning. And wow. What a poem. I actually gave you a comment on the poem itself. Did I write back to you, or did you put it in? Was it last night?
Yeah.
I meant every word of what I said in that actual comment, because wow.
Oh, you're a sweetheart.
Nina, You're an absolute star. Thanks a million for all the fun and laughter you've given us tonight.
Pleasure.
It's great to start, end the week on a laugh, and wake up in the morning and Monday doesn't exist. Absolutely
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
We pretend it's Tuesday tomorrow.
Yeah, Monday's a bit of a day.
There's 2 Tuesdays this week, everybody. 2
Yeah.
Tuesdays starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's my day off.
Enjoy your day off,
Oh,
Nina.
I will.
And
Yeah.
look forward to having you with us again sometime. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks a million for all the laughs.
Pleasure.
Enjoyed every moment.
Oh, bless you.
Have a great end of the weekend and a lovely week ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And you. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Nina.
Bye.
Bye. Nina Thilo, everybody, what do you think? Wow. I'm gonna ask. I've got 1, 2, I think I've got 3 cameras live. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. No, I don't. They're all gone off now. All the cameras have gone off. Oh my God. What can I say? Oh, do you know, I'm looking at some of the comments going down now. Alexander Rodriguez, I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier on. I really and truly am. Delighted to see you at the show. And welcome in once again. You're here every week with me. Ed, thank you very much for the compliment, for the great show. Absolutely loved having your company here with us as well. And what can I say? Christine and Nina have been absolute stars tonight. Absolutely brilliant. And Charlotte, you're absolutely wonderful at keeping everybody talking together and getting them there together. And Tracy, yourself on meeting and greeting are second to none. Absolutely fantastic backup here all the time. Such congratulations coming in for what you may call it, for Nina. It's absolutely brilliant to see. Vandita Darney. Hello, John, Christine, and all my friends. Well, hello to you, Vandita. And it's beautiful seeing you here, sweetheart. Absolutely lovely. I just hope I've got a time that you will come on and read one of your beautiful poems for us, because I know you are attainable because you have your little cam. Your little camera that's in front of you. It's not there now because you're not there at the moment. But your little camera just be on you. So I know I could get you in. So I'm going to surprise you one of the weeks and just ask, would you like to come on in between everything else we're doing? We have the quote for the week ahead, haven't we? And our quote for the week ahead. Like I said, when I seen this one that Nina put together, had shown to me, I thought to myself, wow, whoever it was that put those angry faces up last week, you need to hear this quote. You really and truly do. Not that I mind you put the angry faces up. I'm glad you did. I really am, seriously. But the quote for the week ahead is from Nina Thilo. Just because you are offended doesn't mean you are right. Have a little think about it. You can go outside the box if you want to, but have a little think about it. I'm going to go back to where I started the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go back to Linda Nolan. Linda, I hope you're fully recovered from your own dealings with cancer. And thank you for bringing to our show the memory of Emma Hannigan, who died yesterday. Everybody, good night and God bless. Don't forget to get your poems into me for Mother's Day special. I've already got 2. I need 6 more. I will accept 6 more and then stop. But we would love either yourself to come on and read your poem, or we can have them read here by Christine. Have a wonderful week ahead, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you right here next Sunday. Good night and God bless everybody. And thank you for the last comment. Brilliant show. It is a brilliant show because you guys make it a brilliant show. Have a wonderful week ahead. Good night and God bless everybody.